Hello and welcome back to another week of IRONAMAN training. Should have already been a week of training. Instead, I just decided to focus on one day, which was supposed to be the big session at the end of the week. So far already this week, I've had pretty good training. Managed to get in 2 swims, one of them being an open water swim. My first open water swim in quite a while, since last year. I managed to get in a run, pretty decent road ride. Also managed to get in a brick session the day before. But this was going to be the big session of the week. The plan was to do 100 kilometer, 90 kilometers on the bike, and then 10 kilometers running. So to fit that all in, we had to start fairly early. And as it was going to be like potentially a 5-hour training day, had quite a bit of nutrition ready to go. So I had some granola in the morning as well as some black coffee. Really enjoying granola at the minute because I'm just finding it easier to eat, especially when I start an early session. Granola with some banana and blueberries, you could easily get like 500 calories. For actual on-bike nutrition, I'm going to take out 2 bottles, one with tailwind in and one with some electrolytes. I'm going to take out my little bottle, which is filled with gels. One thing I've realised is, like, I don't know why I'm not eating more bananas, because essentially it's 100 calories, pretty much the same amount of carbs as a gel, and it costs like 10p for a banana instead of 90p for a gel. Obviously not as easy to carry on the bike, but yeah, I need to be making sure every ride I'm just having a banana. Also, it's like the go-to thing to hand out at aid stations, so probably going to eat a few bananas during the Ironman. So pre-ride gave the tyres a little pump and we were all good to go. Right, out on the bike now. I noticed new glasses. Nice, and well, I think they look fast. I don't think they make me any faster. So yeah, planning for about 5 hours total training today. But the bike ride should be fairly easy, so zone 2 ride, I guess you'd call it. Got quite a bit of food on me, so hopefully we shouldn't need to stop. But there is a cafe like 3 hours in. If I'm running low, I need a coffee. This is one thing I would definitely recommend doing, is at least having, if it's not a cafe, having somewhere you know there is a shop on the way. Because the last thing you want to do is leave like a couple of your bars at home or realise you haven't brought enough and then panic about where you're going to stop and get some more fuel. So been a pretty good week of training so far, doing like nearly 8 hours I think. But this is the biggest session of the week by far. Big chunk of my training. But these long rides and brick sessions, that's what I need to focus on, so that's what I thought I'd film today. Like I said, for me, I think this has to be the biggest priority, is getting tired legs and then going for a run. I cannot describe when I did the Ironman previously how awful I felt getting off the bike. I just felt like I could barely even walk, let alone run. And I want to make sure this time I avoid that as much as possible. If I could get off the bike feeling okay and be able to run at a somewhat decent pace, that would make the race for me. Well, like an hour in, feeling pretty good, keeping the good pace. Supposed to do 4 hours, I only need to do 15 miles an hour, which shouldn't be too hard. I'm also like timing my stops, so only stopped at traffic lights quickly. Got an oat bake out of my bag, had that, had a gel, had some tailwind, so we're feeling pretty good. It is so quiet. Yesterday I went out at like 9 AM, so it was madness. It's so much nicer to be on the bike at like 7 AM on a Saturday. 32 miles in, 2 hours and 8 minutes, something like that. Wasn't planning on stopping here because we're doing pretty good time wise. I was very tired. Wasn't planning on stopping here, but we're doing pretty good time wise, and my bike is playing up. I can't go in the big ring. I don't know why. For the last 30 minutes or so, just not been able to get in the big ring, which has been annoying because there's been some nice flats and some downhills. Not very good at bike mechanics, so I'm going to play around for 5 minutes, eat a banana, see if I can figure this out, because I've got another 2 hours to go. It's very annoying if I can't go in the big ring the whole time. I don't know if I could put it in the big ring myself and then just leave it for the rest of the ride and don't drop down, but then I don't know if that's better or worse, especially when it's supposed to be a zone 2 ride. Yeah, I tried to have a look at the bike. The camera didn't really go to plan. Did get some nice ambient noise though. But if you've seen me do bike mechanics previously, you'll know it's definitely not an area of expertise of mine. So I don't know why this is catching here, and it's like rubbing. So that is, I've put it in the big ring, changed the gear, and it's still catching. The thing I just want to say before I carry on with the video is I'm trying to post more of my updates on Instagram. So if you're interested, want to follow my Instagram, I'm trying to just post my training each day. This video is normally like a week and a half or 2 weeks behind on training, so a little bit more up to date. If you want to see that, follow me. I'm gonna try and post more updates. I think especially when we get closer to the race, actual like race week and race day. I ended up spending about 15 minutes trying to sort that out. Still no good, so as soon as I got back on the bike I had to drop down into a little ring again. I keep like instinctively trying to go in the big ring. I just keep instinctively trying to go up a gear, but it won't work, so it was
to grind this out in the little ring.
A little bit annoying there. Couldn't get back in the big ring. Couldn't get it fixed even when I got home. So I ended up booking it into the garage. I think I need to order a new part for it to get it fully fixed. It is kind of working now. But yeah, for the rest of this ride, spent the whole thing in the little ring, which was really annoying. There were some really nice flats or some downhill sections, and I just, couldn't really go for it like I would have liked.
Just finishing the ride now. Somehow missed like 2 miles, I don't know where. So I just had to just do a loop of my sort of little area. So I've done that now, so up to 55 miles. I think that should be 100 kilometres.
Pretty sure it's actually 56 miles to do 90 kilometres. This is going to be a 99 kilometre training day now.
About 15 minutes faffing around with the bike, so not too bad. Time to get ready for a run. Out for the run. Not gonna lie, that's probably the longest transition in history. Probably about 20 minutes. I think that's what happens when you have a 1-year-old that wants to play with you as soon as you get home.
I also realised I really need to get my stuff ready for the brick session before. Normally I'll just kind of put it on the floor upstairs. 9 times out of 10 I forget something. So I really now want to try and make sure I put all my clothes downstairs. So I come in the front door, don't even go upstairs, just straight in like the kitchen and get changed in there and then go straight back out again. Because if I have to go upstairs, there's just more distractions. So yeah, to try and take advantage of the brick session as much as possible, I want to have as little rest as possible, as little gap as possible. Ideally the same amount as race day, if not even less than race day.
I think we need to do it in about 55 minutes to get our 5 hours. I want to try and get as close to 50 as possible, so I'm going to try and push it for that. So it's going to be quite a tempo 10k for me. My legs don't feel too bad. My hips feel a bit funny, I don't know. But I don't normally go this fast straight off the bike. Normally I drop for a bit, so it could be why. But something good to practice. Alright, let's do it. Alright, just jogging home now. 51 minutes I think it was. Just over maybe. Pretty happy with that. Really tough. And at one point, like halfway through, the sun was just beaming down. It's gone a bit more overcast now, which is nice. I think I got some like negative splits in there though, because I think my slowest mile was the 3rd one maybe. But yeah, happy with that. I've not really pushed myself on a 10k for a while, so it'd be interesting to see the stats.
Disappointingly, it wasn't actually like top of anything the stats wise, but still a pretty good 10k run for me, especially off the bike. I feel like in just like a normal day, I'd be pretty happy with like a 50-minute 10k. So the fact that I nearly did that off the bike, really good going. Touch wood right now, but this smoothie is kind of making my training go way better. I kept having problems where I kept getting sick. I just think maybe I wasn't eating enough, maybe I wasn't getting enough nutrients in. Since having a smoothie like every day, really helping me. Definitely think I'm going to keep this up for the rest of the Ironman training, ideally, as long as possible after that. I don't know why I stopped drinking smoothies, because I used to always have smoothies. The only thing I think is when we had Arlo, he didn't like the smoothie maker, or the blender. He just scared him whenever I put it on. And that happened like the first 2 times I did it, and now he's just got used to it. And now he normally wants some of the smoothie as well. So yeah, really going to try and keep this up. And also, if I've been like at work or not been able at home to make a smoothie, I've just been buying like the grossest green smoothie I can find in the supermarket and just having that instead. And I don't know if it's just like all in my head, but it's definitely helping, I think. And so we finished off with some beans on toast for like a late lunch, and then had sausage and mashed for dinner and some Percy pigs. I think we ended up having like nearly 5,000 calories, which makes up for the amount we burnt during the session. I feel that was another thing that is definitely helping. I did do one more session this week, which was another bike ride the next day. Tried to fix the bike before that and couldn't do it, so that was just stuck in the little ring as well, so not a great ride. But finished off a pretty big week of training for me, 14 hours and 25 minutes, which I think is the biggest training week so far. Really good. Fitness increasing nicely. Ready for a rest week next week before we start building it back up again. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, please drop a like, subscribe, all those good things. And I'll see you for another week or day of training next week.